Here recently in the NFL world, there's really been nothing interesting to talk about. But seeing as lately I've really been motivated to put out a video this week, I figured it wouldn't be too bad of an idea for me to do an early predictions to the NFL honors. But before we get into the video today, I'd like to say two things. Number one being that I have obviously not watched every single NFL game this year, so my predictions are just based off what I've seen and my opinions on things. But that being said, if your favorite team or your favorite player wasn't on this list and you rightfully think they should be, please let me know about it in the comments. And the second thing I'd like to bring up is only a very small percent of the people who watch these videos are actually subscribed to the channel. So if you enjoy this video and want to see others just like it, make sure to drop a like and leave a sub to help us grow the channel. And now that that's out of the way, let's jump right into the video. The first award I'd like to give out is probably the most obvious one of the bunch, and that's Comeback Player of the Year. And of course, it's going to no other than Dak Prescott. Because it was just over a year ago that Prescott had a season-ending compound fracture to his right leg. And in his comeback season this year, he's thrown for 1,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, and has completed 73% of his passes. And that's not even the most impressive part of this, because we still haven't talked about how the Cowboys have a 5-1 record and are in the first place in their division. And now to move on from that, the next thing I'd like to talk about is the game of the year so far. And despite it being in week 1, I still have this as the Ravens versus the Raiders on Monday Night Football. It was a 33-27 Raider win, and the game actually ended twice. This will for sure go down as one of the most exciting games of the year, if not the most exciting game of the year, and I'm glad that I got to see it live. And the next award I'd like to talk about is also kind of an easy one, and that's Play of the Year. And my prediction for this is Justin Tucker's game-winning 66-yard field goal. Not only did it get the Ravens a win as the time expired, but it also broke the NFL record for longest kick in history. And now to get into the more interesting awards, first I'd like to talk about Offensive Rookie of the Year. I will say at the beginning of the year, I thought guys like Mac Jones, Justin Fields, or just any of the quarterbacks were going to get it, but as time progressed, my pick for this year is no other than Jamar Chase. So far, he has 750 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. He's one of the most electric players in the league, and he's a huge reason why the Bengals are standing at a 5-2 record this season. And me being always a fan of the LSU football program, it's really nice seeing him and Burrow back in action. And the craziest part about this is people really thought he was going to be a bust after the reports came out that he couldn't see the ball in preseason. And the next award, of course, is Defensive Rookie of the Year. And so far, I'm going to have to give the edge to Micah Parsons. In this spot, I did want to say Patrick Surtain for the Broncos, but I've only been able to watch 2 Broncos games this season, and I really haven't been paying attention to him on the defensive side of the ball. But to talk about the season that Parsons is having, he's recorded 20 tackles and 2.5 sacks this season. And he's doing all this while having to move from position to position due to the Cowboys' injury issue. And before we get into the big 3 awards of the MVP, the Offensive Defensive Player of the Year, let's go ahead and talk about the Coach of the Year. And that, of course, is Cliff Kingsbury. He's led his Cardinals to a 7-0 record, and they are the heavy favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. And given no big injuries happen, I do think they'll come away with the NFC West this year. And like years prior, they usually just give Coach of the Year to the team who has the best record. And now to get into the good stuff, first let's talk about Defensive Player of the Year. And this one's tricky because guys like Myles Garrett have been playing out of their minds, but this year so far, I have to give it to Trayvon Diggs. So far this year, he has 7 interceptions in 6 games, including 1 in each game. And to add on top of that, he has 2 pick sixes so far this season. And I've seen people hating on him recently on social media, but when you're averaging over an interception per game, there's really no debate on if he's an elite corner or not. And moving on, these last 2 picks are really interchangeable because I think they can go either way. But because MVP is usually a quarterback's award, I'm going to go ahead and say that Derrick Henry will win Offensive Player of the Year. Even though when we really think about it, Derrick Henry is the most valuable person to his team, so he should win MVP, but the NFL just doesn't think that way, unfortunately. So far this year, Henry has rushed for 869 yards and 10 rushing TDs, and this week he even threw for a passing touchdown. He's been the only good thing to point out about this Tennessee team this year, and really the only reason why they're going to have a winning record this season. And to move on to the final award, I have Kyler Murray winning the MVP. He's already thrown for over 2,000 passing yards and has 17 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns already. And like we've already said before, his Cardinals are at a 7-0 record and the best team in football right now. Given he keeps up this performance, he's sure to win the MVP this season. And I know I said that was the last award, but I would like to give some honorable mentions for people who've been balling out this season. season. Tom Brady, Cooper Kupp, and Myles Garrett are 3 names I'd like to throw out for people who I don't think will win awards this season, but have definitely been balling out. And that's really all I have to say for the video. But if you guys disagree with any of my picks, let me know who you guys will think will be winning awards in the NFL honors this season. And once again, if you guys enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel to see content just like it, as I'm trying to hit 500 at the end of the year. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.